All right, guys, we got to go out there and find our Callaway Live super fans.
Harry, don't you think you're ripping off the Howard Stern show a little too much?
I think we're good.
Yeah, but don't you have a live show to do?
Oh, live show? No script? What could possibly go wrong? Good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thank you. This is a crowd that follows instructions very, very well. Thanks again for the applause, the sincere applause, as always. I'm Harry Arnett. This is Callaway Live, and we're going to have a hard time, I think, this week passing and topping last week. Last week's show, we had a great show, as you guys know, for U.S. Open. It was a big week in our nation's history. I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking of the legislation. You're thinking of the stuff that happened down in South Carolina. I'm talking about the NBA draft. And because of that, we were watching the NBA draft around here, and a lot of our team was saying, these guys are so stylish, and you come out for Callaway Live every week in the same old boring sweaters. We got to amp the style up a little bit on Callaway Live. And so the team took a crack at giving us a little bit of style. So here's kind of what we're thinking. I don't know what you guys appreciate that. That's a little bit of Jahlil Okafor, another Duke guy, which we like. And here's another one. I think that's maybe a little bit better. First round draft pick of the Lakers right there. I don't know if that's a little better look. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Yeah. That's Christmas from Syracuse. Might have a little clash with our set here, I think. But anyway, so we're going to amp the style up on Callaway Live. And tonight we're going to amp the style up even more. We have Jon Leiberman here from the Howard Stern Show, who's going to be out in a minute. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Jon.
Hi, I'm Sandra Gall, and you're watching my favorite golf internet talk show, Callaway Live with Harry Arnett. Back to you, Harry.
All right, thank you very much. You guys heard what she said. Sandra. She said this was her favorite show. You heard that. All right, so this show I love because, yes, we get great guests from the world of golf on this show. But the people that I love the most on this show are people that aren't necessarily from the world of golf, but love golf in some way, and are people you probably know from other instances, whether it's business leaders or entertainers or newsmen or people from the media. This guy's sort of all of those things rolled into one. He's on the Howard Stern Show. He's really the straight man, one of the characters on there, a long history in traditional news, and he happens to be one of our good friends. Please welcome to Callaway Live, Mr. Jon Leiberman. Jon Leiberman!
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you, man.
Hey, I got to tell you, you missed some lines on my resume.
Let me hear it.
I mean, there's a lot more to my resume. You know, America's Most Wanted. I wrote a book. I mean, come on, we talked about this.
Yeah, but I guess I heard about your book, but it was a coloring book. I didn't want to talk about that here.
All I know is this. Stina Sternberg has popcorn right now and wine. She just tweeted to see my appearance, Harry. So.
Don't get crazy, because you know what she calls that Monday. Yeah. But you did mention, like, your resume, because a lot of people probably did first find you on the Stern Show. How did you even end up there in sort of a comedy show with a really traditional news background?
Yeah, I really don't belong there, is what you're trying to say. I was at America's Most Wanted, and our show was getting canceled. And my agent called me and said, the Howard Stern Show is looking to hire somebody like you. And I was like, the Howard Stern Show is looking to hire somebody like me? Like, what's wrong with them? And then I ended up there, and the rest is kind of history.
Did you know much about the show? Were you a listener? Were you a fan at all before you even got there?
Yeah, you know, I had listened sporadically, right, over the years, like everybody, you know, has. But it was quite a transition for me because, you know, I was in TV, and then I go to radio. I was always doing serious news. I mean, I covered the war in Iraq, America's Most Wanted. And so I was going to comedy, and it was a huge learning curve in that respect.
Yeah, how much of a transition was that, trying to sort of fit your style in with how that show kind of vibes on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I had to learn how to say Baba Booey correctly.
Yeah.
So that was
a lot
like
of golf to learn that, I assume. Yeah,
that was lesson number one. There was a transition, but the good thing is that they never asked me to be somebody that I'm not. So my delivery hasn't changed in 20 years. My approach, whether I'm covering a war or a whack-packer on the Howard Stern show, my approach is the same, and it's to get the story and relay it to the audience. So it's been great.
Which is more dangerous, a war or a whack-packer?
I've thought about that a lot. I have suffered injuries in both places, so let's just we'll leave it at that.
Did you ever think when you got involved with the show, especially as you started to become more of a character, if you will, just how transparent that would make you to everyone else? I mean, you're not just this outside third-party news guy anymore. You're right in the middle of things.
That was probably, Harry, the biggest eye-opening thing for me. Was not only was I covering the story, but I was the story sometimes, whether it was my ability or inability to rap.
Inability. Yeah.
Harry.
Sorry. Yeah. So, no, you were great. I thought you were great. No, come back. I thought you were great. We have no show if you leave, so you got to stay.
You're going to have to fill a half hour.
Yeah.
No, but it's true, because I don't think I fully expected or appreciated the fact that, my life would also be under a microscope, my personal life and, how I conduct myself outside of work. So that was eye-opening as well.
I mean, you've talked about all kinds of stuff as you're in your role there, whether it's your personal life or health. You had some health stuff this past year, and it's all out there for everyone to hear. We were worried about you.
No, and I got to say, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I had a heart attack at age 39. And the most amazing thing was to tell that story on the air and then have the outpouring from the audience. I mean, the Howard Stern audience is so many things, but for one, they're just incredibly loyal, and they're incredibly passionate about everybody connected to the show. So to hear from, literally, I heard from tens of thousands of people who said, I'm 39, I'm 35, there's a history of heart stuff in my family, I should go get checked out. So, I mean, it's amazing, the reach of the show.
That's awesome, yeah. I think the helps us here, too, because I'm always yelling at the team, you're going to give me a coronary. And they're like, oh, you're too young for a coronary. Like, Lieberman?
Exactly. He had it. Yeah, exactly. I had it. So, but I will tell you, I feel great. And, Harry, I'm going to talk to your wife about this, because I have a personal trainer now. And some around here have suggested that perhaps you might benefit from a trainer as well, because you're wearing this watch.
Yeah, that's right.
That tracks what your running speed or your steps, whatever crazy thing. So we'll talk later about
my 5-minute runs I can do right here on this watch.
You can do it in 5 minutes.
So what's your schedule like? I mean, a lot of people, obviously wake up to your work.
Yeah.
How grueling is that schedule for, your day-to-day?
Yeah, it took some getting used to. I mean, I generally get up around 4 in the morning. I go work out for an hour. Then I'm into the office by 6. Howard went from starting the show at 6 in the morning to starting at 7 in the morning, which was a welcome relief. Like, you don't realize how much that hour really means to you until you get it. And then it's like, it's like candy. It's like a treat. So you have this hour. So my days are long. I've been lucky that, I do a lot of other projects, TV projects outside of Howard, and, he's been great about that. And so my days are long, but it's all good stuff.
So you mentioned how, you had to learn Baba Booey, et cetera. And, one of the things when we said, we're having Jon Leiberman on the show, they go, oh, is it because of the Baba Booey connection with golf? Like, actually, not really, but that makes a lot of sense. And you were here, and you kind of got to the bottom of how that even got started, which, fortunately, we had the cameras on.
I get to the bottom of everything.
You do, a newsman. So here's John and I earlier walking around the office.
So that was R&D, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, the level of detail is amazing around here.
No stone unturned. A lot of people think that it's easy doing this, but there's a lot of other things that we do here. That
Whoa. What is this?
Oh, yeah. This is our Baba Booey mission control.
Mission control?
Right here. You know, people think that all those Baba Booies, come on in, I'll show you. All those Baba Booies just get yelled spontaneously. We actually control every single Baba Booey that's yelled at golf events around the world right here from this room.
Wait a second. Every single Baba
Every
Booey is
single one.
orchestrated out of here?
Every single one
That's
of them.
the whole purpose of this room?
That's it. That's these people totally dedicated to that. Like, I'll show you. Come over. So this is TPC Deer Run. This will be the event next week. We're pretty dialed in this week for the Greenbrier, but Deer Run in Illinois, a little bit of an isolated place. It's a DA Weibring course, not a course that we have a lot of familiarity with. And so we'll go out a week in advance, our advance team, to make sure that we have people stationed all over the golf course.
So wait, you hire people to Baba Booey?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You don't think they would just do that on their own, do you?
And you strategically place them along the course?
All over the course.
How do you decide where to put them?
Well, I'll show you. So, like, here's 13, for example. Pretty innocuous-looking par 4, slight dogleg. However, the tee box, very isolated. So we will have to have people positioned along the 12th green as well as on the 14th fairway, able to yell a disruptive and potentially annoying Baba Booey directly at the tee box.
What qualifications do these people have to get these gigs?
They can't have a life. They have to have very little social skills. Some theatrical background is necessary. Absolutely.
So where do you place them?
Well, so let's go to 18 real quick, Alexis. I'll show you. So here's 18. We will have people stationed at the beginning part of the green, the middle part of the green, as well as the back part of the green for any given hole location, any given point. When that person makes a putt, they're ready to yell out a Baba Booey.
You
Pretty
put
cool,
a lot
huh?
of resources into this.
Absolutely. No stone left unturned to make sure that the golf viewing public is annoyed.
Harry, do these golfers realize that Callaway is behind all this?
Oh, no way. And as a matter of fact, we'd appreciate that if you'd keep that on the D-Lo. You have a non-disclosure, do you not?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
let's keep walking down this way.
All right, that's Leiberman. I mean, he gets to the bottom of everything.
Everything happens at Callaway.
I just feel like people want to tell you things. How does that happen?
It's my charm, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like that.
I mean, you've done a lot of stuff with, the Stern Show now where you're kind of embedded. You're taught. Did the comedy influence your news approach, or did the news approach influence your comedy?
Yeah, it's funny. I do get
That was supposed to sound like a smart question. It sounded dumb when I said it, so just go with me there.
It was a very intelligent question.
Thank you very
Harry.
much.
I don't know what it meant.
We'll edit out the earlier part a little bit later.
Yeah, let's edit that in post, guys. It's interesting. I've never changed my approach. So really, I didn't let the comedy impact the way I do reporting, and I don't tailor my reporting to doing comedy. Like, if you look back over my career, 20 years, my delivery and my cadence, for better or for worse, hasn't changed whether I'm covering a war or a whack packer, and it's sort of stayed consistent through all those years, and I pride myself on that because I take everything as seriously as the previous thing.
Yeah, have you thought about your role within the show almost being, I always think of you as, he's sort of like our eyes and ears on what's happening there within the Stern Show, because it's chaos, but you're kind of the voice of reason to the listener of, like, here's what's happening.
Well, the fun part for me is, using my investigative skills to find out things about people associated with the show and then bringing it to Howard. And, of course, then he takes it to a whole other level. But I can give him sort of that ammunition, if you will, to then take it wherever he's going to take it. And I enjoy doing that.
And it always seems to, like, your sensibility of tonally what is going to be funny really matches up with sort of his taking very insignificant things and magnifying them to seem like the very most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to do the same thing. Just by the nature of my delivery, it sounds probably much more important than it actually is. Like, do you really care that High Pitch Eric did this? Well, you're going to care because I'm going to tell you why you're going to care.
Yeah, well, we actually put you to the test on that. One of our kind of most interesting guys who has the most interesting life in our marketing group, we thought, Jon, go see what you can find out. We embedded you in Callaway Golf.
Let me tell you, the embedded that I did here today was nothing short of fascinating.
Yeah, so take a look right here.
For the past week, I've been embedded with Pete Avery, Callaway's retail marketing director, to get an inside look at the extreme demands of his job. Pete's typical day is so busy, so action-packed, he barely has a moment to pull himself away for a simple cup of coffee. Pete, how do you find the time?
You know, you really got to set that time apart. Make sure that you give yourself a good 15, 20 minutes to brew a good cup and enjoy it.
Do you like a particular flavor?
You know, typically I like the...
Does it help you get through the day?
Absolutely. It gives me the energy I need to kick off the day right.
In Pete's mile-a-minute work life, something as simple as urinating has to be done quickly. How do you find the time?
You know, I found I really need to put it in my schedule. In fact, I gotta go.
Pete's inbox is constantly bulging with new email messages. It's all he can do to keep up with the onslaught. Pete, first of all, you're standing up, but second of all, you're reading about the Cavs? I know you're from Ohio, but what about all the email messages?
I'm trying to catch up with what's going on in the world of Ohio.
It's not even basketball season.
It will be soon, no.
Pete, I have a lot of questions for you. Let me start with this. Describe your job in 3 words.
Chaotic, unrelenting, and pressure-packed. Oh, wait, that's 4 words.
Don't worry about it. It's okay, but focus for me. Is this job crushing at times?
All the time. It would kill most people.
All the time, your job is crushing.
Because I work so hard, I have to find a way to kind of blow off some steam.
That's how you handle the stress? I understand you also play hard. Give me an example of playing hard.
You know, typically on a Friday night, I'll go pick up the wife and kids, and we'll head down to Red Robin, and I'll really order whatever I want. I'll get dessert sometimes, a light beer. Well, that's if my wife will drive home, but...
Are you telling me that's the routine every Friday?
Every Friday. Well, sometimes we'll change it up and go to Chili's.
As more and more Americans fight for a better work-life balance in today's high-energy world, Pete Avery continues to go headlong in the other direction. I'm Jon Leiberman, embedded for Callaway Live. Harry, I don't think that my life will be the same now that I've spent the afternoon with one of your boys.
I know what
Pete.
you're going to have to do when you get home. Clear off the mantle. Peabody's is coming your way.
That is an award-winning segment, I can tell you.
Yeah. What I always think is fun about you is when we first met a couple years ago, and Scott Gorel, who works here, and I had a little tour of your studio down there in Manhattan. No one was there. It was a Friday. We met you. Hey, John, nice to meet you. Hey, Jon Leiberman, you were working, and you said, where are you guys from? We're like, Callaway Golf, and you immediately jumped, Callaway Golf? And it was like, we were as excited to be there, but you were more excited that we were from a golf company because I guess your son had just started playing golf pretty significantly.
Yeah, so he has actually
There
started
he is right
playing.
there. That may not be your son, but that's a cool
That's
kid.
some kid we found on Twitter has a pretty good golf swing and happens to look like me. Wait a second.
Yeah. That's just our stock photos we have lying around.
All the stock photo kids look like me. I don't know why. But no, I mean, this is a good story. So we found this program, the First Tee of Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it was like $35 for 8 lessons, so I thought it wasn't for real. And we get there, and there's like 4 kids in the lesson and 2 coaches. They made him fall in love with golf. Like, he loves golf now. Like, all he wants to do in his free time is play golf. Dad, when are we going to play 9? When are we going to play 9? So between him and my girlfriend's father, who, like, my girlfriend's father actually thinks I'm spending today in heaven. Like, Paul thinks that Callaway Golf is the epitome of life. So he's very jealous right now. And
He ought to come back out and sit in a forecasting meeting or something. That'd be awesome.
He could do that. He thinks I'm bringing him clubs home, but I'm gonna have to tell him like they wouldn't let me carry him on or something.
Yeah, that's great. So really has become kind of a good bonding moment for you and that kid, whoever that is.
Yeah, the stock photo kid. No, Bryce. Yeah, Bryce just loves it, and in fact, he's the one that now has me. Like, I took a lesson. I need to take more, but I'm taking lessons now, and it's just It's a great father-son time to be out on the course, and it's great because I'm very impatient. I know it's hard to believe, but he has forced me now to become a little bit more patient, particularly on the golf course, because, you know, I don't want to be throwing my club down like, geez, why didn't I make that shot? You know, and he's like all calm, cool, and
Didn't
collected.
you have a heart attack at 39? You shouldn't be doing that anyway.
I know, exactly. That's what's going to happen if I keep playing my 8-year-old on 9 holes. He's almost about to beat me.
Matter of time. That's how he's going to pay for college.
I hope so.
He's going to beat you. Take your money.
I hope so.
Well, we didn't think it was all that fair that Gary Delabate has gotten all this attention in golf with Baba Booey calls, and we thought that you should have been involved in that somehow for your passion for the game, etc. But Gary already had golf, so we had something else we wanted to think about for you, which is a little bigger actually than the golf course. It's kind of around the office. So picture this: you're on the telephone in the office, you're about to say goodbye. Great phone call. So watch this. So you're like, "Yep, thanks, sounds good, great call." Johnny Leaps! You guys like that?
I like that. It's got a little ring
We're
to
gonna try
it.
to get that going. No? We're try it? No? It felt a little gratuitous applause there. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think they're into it. I mean, what do I have to do around here?
We're going to work on that on the Johnny Leaps thing. Hey, thanks so much for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
It's great to see you, and what a great game of golf. And, you know, with Jordan Spieth and these young guys coming up, I mean, it's such a great time right now, especially for the kids to get involved in golf, so I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, and our own Ethan Ganote just got married, so he won't be playing any golf anytime soon, but he's on his honeymoon, and he's watching tonight, so thanks, Ethan, for watching. Thanks, everybody at home, for watching. Thanks to Jon Leiberman. Jon Leiberman. Love to have you back on the show.
Anytime.
We'll bring Bryce with you.
I'll bring him, and yeah.
Next week, we have Shane Bacon from Fox Golf on the show. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Callaway Live.